Hello and welcome back to another Build of the Godzilla video where I'm looking at underappreciated, underrated, and not too thought about giant monster movies. Now this one is actually one that people do remember. It came out very recently. It's an American production, so a lot of people have seen it. This was a big hit when it hit the theaters. It got great reviews and made a lot of money at the box office, but I feel that as of late people weren't really talking about too much, so its time in the spotlight has ended because its advertising campaign was really cool and that got people interested, but its 15 minutes of fame was up once it hit DVD, so not a lot of people watched it, and afterwards. People still do enjoy it. My one buddy said it's his favorite monster movie, but I feel it's become a bit overshadowed now because, like I said, there's been other found footage movies that came out recently, like Paranormal Activity, and the Paranormal Activity type of movie has been such overblown at this point that not a lot of people will give this movie the recognition that it deserves nowadays, and it's Cloverfield. I like this movie. This is a really good movie. Some of the reviews say frightening from Time Magazine, scary, delivers the thrills. A terrific movie filled with spectacle and humor. I didn't really see any humor in it, but a heart-racing experience with plenty of chills and exhilaration. Now, as many of you know, Cloverfield is a found footage horror film that came out in, I believe, 2008. Yeah, copyright 2008. It's about these people who are at this party and earthquake happens, so they all go outside and the famous Statue of Liberty head getting thrown scene happens, and then you see this monster walking around. So then you're seeing that's just like, oh, it's a monster invasion, and it's really cool. The movie really doesn't focus on the monster too much. The monster really only has a few scenes in it. It's actually more about them trying to find a way out of the city, and they're getting attacked by these little creatures that are on the monster. And those little things are creepy, and they do massive damage for being little creatures. This doesn't have... I was going to try and explain the plot a bit better by reading it on the back, but it doesn't have the plot on the back, so I guess I'm not doing that. And this movie is very elaborate. There's a lot more backstory to it than just this. There's like a whole universe about it. My one friend said there's like an Easter egg on the DVD menu, which I haven't seen yet. Not that I haven't seen it myself, I just never tried it, so I'm going to have to try it one of these days. Apparently it ties into Alias or something like that. I don't know. I haven't watched Alias, nor have I found this little bonus feature he's talking about. Just deleted scenes, alternate endings, outtakes, making of, featurettes, commentary, hidden research into the case design of Designated Cloverfield. That's all the bonus features on this DVD. But anyways, the Cloverfield monster looks really cool when they do show him every once in a while. And if you research it, like I said, this has a massive backstory. There's a manga that was released in Japan that was never released over here, showing that the first monster attack was actually in Japan before it attacked New York. And what's falling out of the sky at the end of the movie, spoilers I guess, isn't the alien, it's actually a satellite that wakes up the monster. And according to the writers and directors and all that of this film, the monster isn't an alien, it's a creature that actually has lived on this planet for years. It just has been asleep. And when it's attacking, it's not doing it out of, you know, viciousness, it's because it's scared, because it's just a baby monster. Which everyone I think knew by that point that the monster was just a child. After a while it just became speculation that the monster at the movie is just a baby monster, and at the very end the monster that is seen is actually the full-grown monster. But I'm not sure if the monster that is shown at the end is the same monster or not, because the face does look a little bit different. So yeah, this movie is a very, very good thrill ride. I liked it a lot. I liked it more as time went on. When I first saw it, I didn't like it. But then I decided to buy the DVD, and as I watched it more and more, I was like, okay, this is actually a really solid kaiju film. It's not Godzilla level, but it's close. It's the closest thing America has ever gotten to making a good type of Godzilla-esque movie. I would say aside from Pacific Rim, but Pacific Rim is more of a, I wouldn't say it's a Godzilla style movie. It's more of a monsters versus mechs type of movie, which Godzilla is just a movie about a monster that destroys cities and stuff like that. So that's what I mean by closest thing that we've gotten to just a strict Godzilla movie. It's even more accurate to Godzilla than the '98 Godzilla movie. That's why I'm hoping this 2014 actually brings us a full-blown Godzilla experience. Because this almost had a full-blown Godzilla experience, but it's not there because Godzilla is just unmatched, in my opinion. You can't top the original. It's the best kaiju film ever made. There's other really great giant monster movies, but I still feel that Godzilla perfected the formula, and I don't think it's ever going to be topped personally. There's other kaiju films that I love. A lot of people say King Kong, but I don't really consider that a kaiju film as much as just a giant ape run amok movie. But if you want to consider that a part of the same genre, then that's fine. I just don't personally. But anyways, Cloverfield, it's definitely a solid experience. I'm very happy to keep this in my collection. I used to put this in the horror collection, but then I started organizing things differently in my collection, and I actually have giant monster movies on their own. Not just kaiju, just giant monster movies in general. I have them all together. But definitely, if you haven't seen Cloverfield, if you're skeptical about it, if you're wondering about it, definitely give it a look because it is a good time. It was one of the best films I've seen that come out in the recent years. I even think it's better than the Gamera movie that came out in the last decade. And it's one of the few giant monster movies that was made that could actually make people scared. I mean, normally when you watch them, it's just an entertaining experience. This one is actually a frightful experience, and I really do appreciate that. Anyways, I give Cloverfield a solid 4.5 out of 5 stars. Definitely check it out. It's a wonderful experience. Take care.